that is round 1, pick 20. Originally, the wide receiver Kadarius Toney, who can't seem to stay on the field. So we're like, let's pick someone who can. Actually, I think this guy struggled with injuries, so I don't know about that. But
quick pause before you start. This is not taking into account what we did in the 2022 draft. So it's like if we went back in time, kind of thing, right? So
knowing the players and how they turned out, though.
Yeah, we're not considering what happened in 2022 based off our redraft, if that makes any sense. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, we're just taking into account the actual players in this draft and how they've done so far, or basically last season. All right, so starting out now, pick 20, offensive tackle Christian Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech. He was a first-team All-ACC in 2020, 71.9 PFF grade, played in 652 offensive snaps last season, which is 55th in the NFL. And I believe it's so low because, like I said, I think he struggled with injuries this past year.
Yeah, I do remember.
But I'm not 100% sure on that.
I mean, he was a highly thought of player coming out of Virginia Tech. He had good size. I know he wasn't exactly the most fluid with his hands and stuff like that, but with NFL coaching, getting a few more games under his belt, I think he's going to be a pretty good player, and I think he's a reasonable right tackle. An average right tackle he has the potential to be, which is really all you're asking for. In the late first round, you're just looking for an average tackle. I think is a fair request. And I think Darrisaw definitely does that job. Obviously, now we have Evan Neal, who's much better. Hopefully will be much better. At least coming out of college, he's much better. And that should be an even better solution for us. But Christian Darrisaw, I mean, it's an awkward spot, number 20. We obviously traded down. And there's not a lot of great players at that spot. There's good players, but not anything like crazy. You had Kwity Paye. You had Greg Rousseau. But none of those guys really were like that crazy this season. Neither was Christian Darrisaw, but I thought Christian Darrisaw has the most upside out of any of those guys going forward. But yeah, that's pretty much it for him. I'm gonna move on to our second round pick now.
Darrisaw had COVID last year.
Okay, that makes sense.
That could have been strangled. I don't know if that's the right word. That could have been toppled with injuries, too. There could have been injuries, and then add on, he had COVID. That's why he missed some time as well. He was placed in the COVID IR.
Strangled, yeah.
I don't know why. All right, toppled. Yes, jeez. All right.
And obviously, the original pick was wide receiver Kadarius Toney. I think everyone knows that if you're a Giants fan.
Said that already?
Yep.
Really seems like you're listening to me?
I'm really listening. No, I don't listen to you. I just do my own thing. Round 2, pick 18. Obviously, the Giants traded down here. They originally, I believe, were picking much earlier. I believe they were in the 42 range, and they traded down to 50, if my memory recalls that correctly. They originally picked Azeez Ojulari, who honestly was the best player out of that class, probably at least the best production for the Giants in that draft. And unfortunately, we're going to have to go with someone who was just so outstanding you can't pass him up, and that's center Creed Humphrey out of Oklahoma. He started all 17 games in 2021. He returned as the starting center for Oklahoma in 2019 and 2020 in college, being named the Big 12 conference's offensive lineman of the year in both seasons. In the midway point of the 2021 NFL season, he was named there in PFF's all rookie and all pro teams. He only allowed 1 sack and had a 91.4 PFF grade with 1,184 snaps played, the second most in the NFL. Creed Humphrey, really, I know Bad Dog, Giants YouTuber. I bet you people know him. I'm not gonna explain who he is, but he was huge on Creed Humphrey. He wanted the Giants to draft Creed Humphrey the whole time, and he definitely looks right now because he's turned out to be a hell of a player.
And also is not the only Kansas City Chief that we've drafted or redrafted, if that makes any sense, in this redraft. So I guess take that as you will, looking forward into these next people. But Alex, I mean, Creed Humphrey, looking at him. Oh, yeah. Oh, you go. I was about to make the same joke. Oh my God, you were so excited to do this as you are ready to go, Alex. I mean, Creed Humphrey's a good-looking guy. I mean, you look at that hair; he's got the beard, right? I mean, go ahead, take it over.
I was going to agree with you. I mean, the beard, it's nicely trimmed. I mean, it's really a work of art.
So, speaking of trimming, Alex, you heard of Manscaped?
I think so.
This is where you're supposed to answer.
I was supposed to answer you. Yes, I think so.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Well, you know what's crazy? Support for this podcast, the Giant Take, a New York Giants podcast, is brought to you by Manscaped. What? Yeah. So they're actually one of the best people in below-the-waist grooming. Products, precision engineering, engineered tools for your family jewels.
It clearly doesn't help,
as we like to say.
Speaking, reading.
No, I said this on the other podcast, The City That Never Sleeps. It does not. The ad read, I'm bad at reading from the outline, our podcast outline.
So if you're bad at that, it doesn't really help with that, unfortunately. But it does have other benefits.
Yeah, it does. And I'm not going to lie, Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate man's hygiene bundle. And guess what? We are going to help you out. Like I said, this doesn't just help us out, this helps you out. In the month of July, 20% off.
Opportunities all around.
I said that. Join over 4 million men. That includes me. That includes Alex. Join us. Who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer of 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code GIANTTAKE. That is GIANTTAKE. I'm going to repeat it even more, so don't worry. At manscaped.com, if my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls. That is right. I can multiply 4 times 2, people.
So it might help with math.
Mathematics. Yeah. Yes. So let's talk about this a little bit. So the Performance Package 4.0 has arrived, and oh man, it's a game changer. Inside the package, you'll find that Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, and the Preserver or Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all of it in. First off, let's talk about that Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. It's a trimmer of the future. We know about it. And dare I say, is it the greatest ball trimmer ever? Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. It's also waterproof, so definitely take it in the shower, in the pool. If you want to even bring it in the ocean, go for it. Although I don't know if everyone else on the beach wants to see that. Anyway, it also has an LED spotlight if you want a more precise shave. So, if you want to go when it's dark to the beach where no one is there, then you can do it. Or
again,
do it
not
in the shower with the lights off. Have some fun. Do it with the lights off in the shower. I don't know. Maybe whatever. Because the trimmer is waterproof, you can say goodbye to the mess on the bathroom floor. You thought that was good, but want to take your grooming game even further to the next level. That Performance Package 4.0 includes the Weed Whacker nose and ear trimmer. Is also waterproof, that Weed Whacker, and provides proprietary skin-safe technology. Oh my God, he's got it right there, ladies and gentlemen, for the people that are watching. He's holding up the Weed Whacker. Alex is holding it up. For the people listening, I just described to you what's going on.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's also waterproof. Thank you, Alex. This is a really great ad placement.
Great.
It helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate nose holes. Their Crop Preserver ball deodorant and Crop Reviver ball toner will change the way you approach your hygiene routine. Trust me when I say this, fellas, your balls will thank you. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0. The boxers and the Shed travel bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to another level. It's time to take care of yourself. So go to manscaped.com, get that 20% off, free shipping with the code GIANTTAKE. Once again, 20% off, free shipping code GIANTTAKE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use that code GIANTTAKE.
Josh, is it 20 or 10% off? I'm not sure.
It's 20% off with the code GIANTTAKE. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. And even, don't just think it's a ball trimmer. You can use that really anywhere you want. I mean, Alex, when he needs to trim that stash, you know what he uses. It's the Manscaped 4.0. I had to put the nail in the coffin with that one. You knew it was coming, Alex. Come on. But
are we just going to just leave it in dead silence after that one?
You didn't say anything.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. It was funny. But yes, use that code manscaped.com. Manscaped, really appreciate it. Again, campaign through July, so really excited about that.
For all.
Let's get back into this 2021 redraft. Alex's favorite part of the podcast, not even the picks. Round 3, pick 71, cornerback Aaron Robinson out of UCF. The original pick was cornerback Aaron Robinson out of UCF. He was a second-team All-American Athletic Conference, ACC. Robinson was named second team All ACC again in his redshirt senior year, excuse me. Although he didn't really play that much for the New York Giants, but it's the third round. And what we did is our rules for this, which we should have said earlier, is that in this draft, we only were allowed to pick players in that same round. So looking at pick round 1, pick 20, we could only, if we didn't want to pick Kadarius Toney, it had to be 21 through 32. No one from the second round. That's how we did it. So there was no one really else in the third round where we thought, oh, this person's better than Robinson. He was kind of the best player available, so we kept with him, and hopefully he'll improve. But so far, only 3 passes deflected, 26 combo tackles, and 1 QB hit last season. So it's a pretty low PFF grade of 62.2 for Mr. Robinson. But again, he's on the team already, and hopefully he can improve from there compared to some other guys. I think he's the only New York Giant that we kept here. Yeah,
we would have kept Ojulari if Creed Humphrey wasn't there. But, unfortunately.
But he was, so he didn't.
Things happen, so it just happened that way. Aaron Robinson could potentially play the outside for the Giants this season. We'll have to see what happens in training camp, which is coming up soon. We're both very excited about that, like we mentioned earlier. But who knows? We'll see what Aaron Robinson does, and I'm excited to see how he progresses this season for sure. Definitely one of those players that I'm really excited to watch. Next player we have here. This is a Patriot. Round 4, pick 116 was Ellerson Smith. Obviously, Ellerson Smith's kind of a guy that didn't really play much last season, so we're gonna have to see how he does this season. Again, another guy I really want to see how he progresses. But we're gonna choose running back Ramondre Stevenson out of Oklahoma. He played 12 games in 2021, 2 starts. He had a 100-yard game against the Jaguars in that 50-10 victory. Not that that's the most impressive. It is the Jaguars. He was named the MVP of the 2020 Cotton Bowl after after rushing for 186 yards and a touchdown on 18 carries while in college. And his stats in the 2021 NFL season, he had 133 attempts for 606 yards, which averages out to 4.6 yards per rush. And he had 5 touchdowns. He was one of those late fantasy waiver wire pickups I know a lot of people were talking about. So I think a nice pickup there for this redraft of the Giants for this fake reality that we are playing in.
So moving on to the next player here in round 6. Remember, the Giants had no round 7 players this year. They only had 2 round 6 picks. So it was originally the special teamer Gary Brightwell, which Joe Judge used amazingly. He was our 3rd string running back last year, I want to say, behind Devontae Booker and then Saquon Barkley. Instead, at pick 196, we picked defensive tackle Jalen Twyman out of Pittsburgh. And he wasn't, I'm going to say this right now, was not on the field at all this past season. But has probably the most upside out of these round 6 guys before our next pick at 201, which we didn't really have much to choose from here. But we knew Gary Brightwell. We haven't seen the most of him. He could definitely still be a backup on this team next year, probably will be. Was really just used on special teams, did nothing extremely special. Twyman's story, that's the special part. This guy's potential. So I want you guys to all hear about this if you haven't already. In 2019, he started all 13 games, recording 41 tackles and 10 sacks. So, when visiting family, Twyman was actually shot 4 times. So looking to get back this season, this is an article that the Minnesota Vikings wrote on their website actually in May. So they said, quote, this is from the new head coach, I believe, Kevin O'Connell, right? I think that's his name. He said, quote, we've seen him on the grass with the rest of our veteran guys the last 3 weeks. I thought it was a good example of a guy like that being able to put on the Vikings helmet and run out here in a little more of a practice structure, O'Connell explained. I thought he did a great job. He's been one of those guys that you love. The look in his eyes so far through phase 1 and phase 2 of organized team activities. He'll be that guy we're watching closely as we get into phase 3 and his continued ascent through this offseason program, O'Connell added. Twyman said he tested his strength recently and is happy with where he's at. He said, quote, I put a little bit of weight on that bar and I felt pretty good, he said with a grin. Twyman is fully healed physically and feeling in tune mentally as well. So that's a great comeback story. And obviously, this guy's on the Minnesota Vikings, so really nothing to worry about with how he'll be playing the Giants. So definitely, if you want, I know a lot of people like to watch. I think it's HBO's Hard Knocks. during training camp. And the Hard Knocks always spotlights these 3 or 4 guys that are on the cusp of making the roster or not, and you always sort of root for them. This is a guy, Jalen Twyman. Keep him in your mind for the Minnesota Vikings. This is probably going to be a guy towards training camp that you're going to want him to make the roster just because of the story. Unbelievable story for him to, get shot 4 times, miss the entire 2021 season, and come back here hopefully better than ever, and we hope to see him on the field next year. So that's our pick.
Yeah, certainly. And we're bringing some character for sure into our fake team. And then here with our final pick, round 6, pick 201. There was only one man for this. Guard Trey Smith out of Tennessee. Original pick was Rodarius Williams, who could again work out nicely, has some potential as well, played well in the snaps we saw him last season. But Trey Smith obviously fell dramatically in the draft due to his I believe it was some sort of heart condition. I'm not going to speak specifically to what it was because I'm not a doctor. But yeah, he dropped multiple rounds because of that. He was kind of more a projected day 2 guy who ended up going day 3, late day 3. Because of that, he was all SEC, first team in college, started all 17 games in the NFL in 2021, only allowed 2.5 sacks that whole season. He played 1,194 snaps, which was the second most in the NFL. Him and Creed Humphrey played the exact amount of snaps together, both of them playing all 17 games, and he has 72.3 PFF grade, which I kind of think doesn't really do him justice, to be honest, about how well he played, but still a pretty solid grade for a rookie, especially a 6th-round rookie, and I think he would be a great addition to this fake Giants team as well. I love saying fake Giants team. I don't know why.
Seriously. I was just going to say, I think, I know PFF grades, they don't take in the place that these guys were picked in the NFL draft. You would think if they were to take that into consideration, being picked 201, it's going to take your grade from a
PFF
72 to an 85 real quick.
PFF has no heart, so they're just robots.
We know we have a long time. If you're a loyal Giant Take listener, you know our long time beef with PFF and their rankings and so on. Although we've loved the PFF guys that we've had on the podcast, and it's been more than one. We've had 4 guys from PFF, and they've all been wonderful to us, by the way. So
I don't feel bad.
Yeah. Maybe we have PFF, we have hatred towards them as a brand as a whole, but the guys we've had on and the people who work for them, they've been great to us. So PFF, we have a 50-50 relationship with you guys. We have a love-hate relationship with PFF, as I like to describe it as. But that concludes our 2021 New York Giants redraft.